What is going on here? We have our Prime Minister talking about transphobia and homophobia, standing up against hate. We have Pierre Poilievre from the Conservative Party calling him divisive and demonizing parents. Let me explain what's going on. We've seen parents march and protest across Canada. But why? What is going on? And why is the media misreporting this? We've seen the hashtag Million March for Children. It was trending on Twitter, or X. We've seen parents show up in the thousands in various cities across Canada. But why? Why are they protesting? What are they protesting? Well, they've repeatedly told you.
Leave our kids alone!
Leave our kids alone. These parents are sick and tired of the agenda being pushed by the government into the schooling system, whereby children are being exposed to these sexual books and sexual content, other sexuality and other aspects of the LGBT community, which is predominantly sexual. And children at that age should not be exposed to such sexual material, especially when it's being pushed by the government using taxpayer dollars and enforcing these agendas against the will of tax-paying parents. See the issue? It's not about rights. Well, maybe it is about the rights of the parents and their children. Furthermore, in Canada, we have bills like Bill C-16 and Bill 89, whereby in provinces like Ontario, where they won't allow children, minors, to buy cigarettes, to even get a tattoo, maybe some drugs. Yet, they will allow that same child, a minor, to have irreversible gender transitioning surgery. In other words, mutilate the reproductive organs permanently. The kicker is without parental consent. And if the parents refuse, if they say no, if they say this is a child who's not fully developed and should not be allowed to make such a drastic decision at the age of 10, those parents are deemed as abusive by the government. And the government and child services can take away your children and proceed with the surgeries anyways. You see the issue? And the radical far left and the radical LGBT community are defending this as part of their rights. To take away a child away from you is their right? They're marketing it as to protect trans kids, to protect queer children. This is abuse. This is madness. I'm not talking about adults choosing to do whatever they want as is their given right in whatever country. No, we're talking about children being taken away from their parents. No one has the right to take a child away from their parents and give them irreversible surgery and mutilate them against their parents' will. These are children, minors. How else can I phrase this? Accounts like Gays Against Groomers are working overtime trying to expose this madness, and they're stating this is resulting negatively and reflecting negatively on the LGBT community in and of itself when people start supporting taking children away from their parents and giving them irreversible surgeries. I don't think there's any other way I can say this. If you don't already think this is a bad idea, something's wrong with you. Sadly, when parents came out to protest, to protect their children, the government, alongside many members of parliament and some other institutions, started to smear these parents and accuse them of being far-right hate groups. We have Justin Trudeau saying things like, let's be very clear here, transphobia and homophobia have no place here. Bro, this has nothing to do with transphobia, homophobia. Aren't you listening? Well, of course he's not listening. He doesn't even listen to his own Canadian citizens who are complaining about the economy and the real estate market and everything. Why would he listen to some protesters? Dude, just go give money to Ukraine or something. Then we had Jagmeet Singh right here call them anti-LGBT protests and pride, not Bro, leave our kids alone. The message is very clear. Try listening. We got Tim Houston in the house. No matter who you are, who you love, or what you identify as, you always have a place here. What if I identify as a concerned parent, and we're just concerned about our children? Leave our kids alone. Do we count? No? Thanks, Tim. Again, not about LGBT rights. Leave the kids alone. Then we had Andy Fillmore right here talking about far-right bozos marching in the streets. That was very disappointing, Andy. Very disappointing. Do better. Before you call people bigots, maybe listen to them first. Thanks, Andy. And funny enough, the LGBT counter-protesters were saying this the whole time. They're literally chanting, we're coming after all of your grandsons. You can't make this up if you tried. Dude, don't you know that they're joking? Yeah, because this is definitely a laughing matter. Here's the thing. For politicians calling this far-right hate groups bigots, you do realize many of these people, Muslims, Christians, others, they historically weren't ever seen mass protesting LGBT groups or pride parades or even against LGBT rights. So why all of a sudden are they protesting now? Maybe it's because it's what they're telling you. Leave our children alone. Maybe it's not about LGBT rights. It's not about people doing whatever they want to do as adults, but rather as parents protecting their children in school and saying, leave our kids alone. And ironically, which politician and political party actually sort of took a stand? Yeah, the conservatives. I was not ready for that. Justin Trudeau divides us and distracts us, and he's demonizing concerned parents. Parents should be the final authority on the values and lessons taught to their children. Now, don't get me wrong, it's good that he said that, but how crazy has Canada gotten that when someone says, hey, maybe let's not perform permanent surgeries on children against their parents' will, that person sounds like a hero when it's literally basic common sense, you know? And I guess instead of the government fixing inflation or the job market or real estate market or the cost of living crisis or the crumbling healthcare, instead we can count on them to focus on this.
For LBG.
Oh, Canada. God, what happened in this country? So in conclusion, these protests were not about adults living their lives and fulfilling their LGBT rights. This is about keeping these agendas out of children's agendas, keeping these agendas out of the school curriculum, and leaving the kids out of it.